If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and don't forget to like and comment. Today's first story, my 29 husband, 39, had an affair in rehab. Today my husband told me he had sex multiple times with another woman, 37, while he was in rehab for alcoholism and PTSD. He says they are in love. He was checked in for 11 days, 3 spent in quarantine, before they got caught. They were both going to get kicked out, so he took the blame, said he coerced her into breaking rules, and left so that she could stay. How romantic, right? While he was there, he talked to me every day, FaceTimed me, told me how much he loved me, he missed me, was so thankful for me, etc. He even called me on day 6 crying, absolutely hysterical, saying he was in a meeting about triggers, and it made him feel so horrible about the way he treated me in the past, put his hands on me more than once, and asked me to write him a letter. Around day 5 he asks for the credit card number, so he can buy our MP3 player, that looks like a phone for one of the women there, so that they could give that to the nurses when they ask for phones back. He says he offered to buy it because she doesn't have Amazon Prime. I said no at first, because why the F are you focusing on anyone other than yourself, and I was not comfortable with it. But he manipulated me and ended up with my credit card hash. Then around day 9 he starts acting strange, and I get that feeling something isn't right. He calls me for a short amount of time, and at the end of the phone call says, "Oh, by the way, I bought a pair of Crocs for one of the women here who doesn't have Prime." He put her effing Crocs on my credit card. So I flipped. I sent him walls of texts explaining why that was not okay. I explained how I was worried he would get sucked into the social aspect of rehab and lose focus of what's important. How my best friend went in and out of rehab multiple times, told me stories of people hooking up, she even met her now ex-husband there. So I was a little paranoid going into this. He reminded me many a time how selfish that is. And maybe deep down I knew something like this was going to happen. This morning before he told me about the affair I dreamt that I was talking to this woman's boyfriend about it, and we were both heartbroken. This was the day after we had a wonderful day, spent it together, having sex all day, flirting, doing yoga together. I thought we were doing okay. So he proceeds to ignore me. Turns off his read receipts. Turns off his location on Snapchat. Then finally responds with, "Oh, I was just reading your walls of hurtful texts." He's sick of my shit. He bought me a $400 purse. I just don't know what he is going through, and he just won't tell me anything anymore. Thinking back on it now, I hate him for manipulating me like that. I never thought he was capable of that. I have always been somewhat of an empath, and I have never felt him drift so far off from reality until before he went to rehab. I knew he loved me. I wasn't crazy for marrying him. We were happy. It was real. But then he got on antidepressants. Then he stopped going to work. Then he drank for 3 months straight. He got bad enough that he put his hands around my neck one night. Another day he hit me. I guess that was enough for him to get help. His reason for getting sober was to be a better father and husband. After he was prescribed an extremely high dose of Effexor, he started having trouble climaxing during sex. So the doctor prescribed him Wellbutrin, note that is not supposed to be taken when one stops drinking suddenly, to combat that. On top of that he was on trazodone for sleeping, and prazosin for nightmares. All have interactions with either according to the internet. He never took any of them regularly until he went to rehab. And he is very sensitive to any kind of medication. So my theory and our family's theory that had talked to him while he was there and after he left was that the medication fogged up his mind, along with withdrawals, stress of fighting this thing for the first time in 15 years, and the pink cloud of rehabilitation. So I didn't think he meant it, none of us did. You can't know someone is worth ruining your family in a mere 8 days. But he told me again not too long ago, "We can't work through this. I'm too controlling and have too many trust issues. I've been cheated, left, and abused my whole life." He also cheated on me with his ex-wife when we first got together 3 years ago. And if he can be with her, he wants to. This was all after he completely destroyed our kitchen in a fit of rage because I told his family the truth about what happened, because he has this incredible ability to make everything my fault, and I knew he didn't tell his mom the whole story. And he didn't. He left out the most important part of his affair, that he was in love with her and was still talking to her with me in the same room. She was furious and let him have it. So did his brother. They know I have been nothing but kind and supportive to this man, and are my family too now. I can't talk to my family about him, they don't know him like they do. They are all back in the States, where I'm from, and stupidly left to go Canada for this piece of shit. I have no one here. I can't work yet as I'm not a permanent resident, so no friends. I'm alone and have been for 2 years now. My best friend is his 12-year-old daughter. I don't know what I'm trying to get out of this post exactly. Process it, I guess. Convince myself I'm doing the right thing by leaving and going back to the States. Maybe some personal experiences from people who have gone to rehab/are sober now that can relate. Thank you for reading, and I'm sorry, I know it's a mess. I'm tired. That's the end of first story. If you guys not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Let's start the second one. My fiancee had an emotional affair and I don't know what to do. We've both known this person for months, but they really hit it off 2 weeks ago. I never particularly liked this person because he was sometimes frosty when we played together. All of a sudden he started being nice when my partner started playing with us, even asking to visit us. He asked my close friend behind my back if my partner was attractive. I think he has a fetish for gamer girls, and my fiancé even agreed. The guy's married and has previously said not to get married young and to find a gamer girl like my fiancé. Anyways, they played every night, often until 6 or 7 AM for the past 2 weeks. This means I've had no time to hang out with her as she stays up playing with him all night. I'm in bed all alone and up awake during the day alone as she's sleeping. When she's awake in the evening, a few times I've had to pause our show or movie because she's texting him. When playing with me, she's not as excited as she used to be. It felt like it was our game, now it feels like it's their game. When he joins, she's so excited and vibrant, it has really made me jealous. One night I woke up to them discussing attraction, with her saying she really appreciates his attractiveness, although there's no attraction between them, and she's glad they're on the same level. I got up and took a shower because that comment shook me, and I didn't want to eavesdrop. Instead of saying hi or good morning as we usually do when one of us wakes up, she texted him saying OSH*T. I don't know how much he heard. We are allowed to read each other's phones, and I read earlier comments from her calling him so huggable, that he has a calming voice, etc. What made things worse is that he drove 60 kilometers to our city for an errand he could have easily done in his city, adjusting ring size. It hurt me that my girlfriend agreed to go when I had work, since whenever I've invited people over I make a point of choosing a day and time where we are both free. They went to a restaurant where they had to pretend to be a couple to get in due to COVID rules, accompanied with heart-shaped ketchup pods and more. She says it was just a coincidence and they didn't pre-choose a restaurant like that, but the whole thing made me feel so sad. I found out she had told him so many personal things about us, secrets and discussions, that I didn't think I needed to tell her not to repeat as they were intimate and personal. I was so shocked that she had shared these intimate conversations and our address with someone she's only seriously known for 2 weeks. I told her I feel that she's having an emotional affair and it's hurting me. I said she could do whatever she wants, but that this friendship hurts me, knowing he pressed my friend to know if she was attractive behind my back and all the other stuff. I told her that the inverse situation would never happen. I would never call another girl so huggable and compliment her voice and neglect my fiancé for weeks in favor of playing with this girl who has previously inquired if I was attractive. I would never. So the fact that she's done all of this has really shattered my trust and confidence in us. We talked about it and almost broke up over it. In the end, she decided to not be friends for now with him, and he's left our group, but for me, it's not enough. She still wants to keep this 2-week friendship and still has him on Instagram. What should I do? I feel like just backing out, just leaving, because if a 2-week friendship/emotional affair is worth jeopardizing our relationship, then perhaps the whole thing is dead already. TLDR, fiancee's 2-week friendship has really wrecked our relationship. Is this relationship salvageable? Edit. I also wanna add that when she was discussing my objection to the friendship with him, he offered to back away so as to not jeopardize our relationship, but she insisted on not doing that, despite the risk and the subsequent damage that has now been done.